Let me ask y'all a question. What makes a good war anime? Is it the action, the characters, the drama? What is it about some acclaimed shows such as Attack on Titan, Legend of Galactic Heroes, Vinland Saga, etc., that makes them truly special? In my opinion, I think the special sauce to these series' success is their willingness to address dark aspects of the human psyche that, at least when compared to other anime, cause them to come off as profound and deeply philosophical. Now, a statement like that isn't unique to anime. The same can be said of many great war epics, such as Apocalypse Now and 1917, that take what audiences see as shows with incredible action and use that as a segue to develop a deeper plot. For me, personally, in no movie is this more evident than 2022's All Quiet on the Western Front, and, at least as far as anime is concerned, a little underrated gem known as Pumpkin Scissors. Pumpkin Scissors is an old anime manga from all the way back in 2006, centered around a World War I-esque inspired backdrop, brimming with bureaucratic intrigue and political conspiracies. It follows two protagonists, Randall Oland, a hulking beast of a man with a heart of gold, and Alice Malvin, a go-getter noble determined to prove to the world that noble values in war are not dead. After getting roped along by the young captain, Olin joins the Pumpkin Scissors, Alice's organization, which serves as a subsidiary of the Royal Empire Police Force tasked with managing internal corruption amongst the various branches of the imperial government. They are joined by Arleldo, a gung-ho lover boy from the slums, Lily, their adorable secretary, Martise, the glasses-wearing smart character, and my man Hunks, the ranking officer of the organization. Together they set out on a journey to mitigate the corruption running rampant through the Royal Empire, in addition to managing their own personal issues. Pumpkin Scissors, when told like this, might not sound all that unique. Its score on my anime list, for example, sits at a pitiful 7.15 and 7.66 for the anime and manga respectively. Not exactly glowing ratings, which makes it all the more shocking when I say this. Pumpkin Scissors is one of the finest anime and manga I have ever watched or read. There are many reasons for this, but I think the largest two have to come down to the main characters. To cut to the chase, Alice and, in particular, Oland are characters that I've never really seen properly displayed in a manga before. On the surface, the pair seem to play as stand-ins for typical 2000s era anime tropes. Primarily the holier-than-thou white knight who constantly preaches for the good in humanity no matter the cost, and your typical rugged, yet kind soldier. Sosuke from Full Metal Panic is another example of this trope. In this way, Alice and Olin might seem respectively flat and without depth. But listen here, these two are some of the best written protagonists I've seen in a manga, especially Alice. Now, usually I, and I'm sure many of you, hate these stereotypical white knight characters due to one simple reason. They're annoying. Very often authors make these characters preachers, who exist to spew life lessons at the antagonist and others 24/7. Oftentimes, these sorts usually don't succeed in their efforts to convert ne'er-do-wells to their cherished and sometimes impossible to reach level of kindness and stability. Oland, as well, can often suffer from this, as frequently the soldier-esque characters tend to be flat, one-dimensional with a void of character development. Going back to Full Metal Panic, Season 1, Sosuke is a good example. Just know that I do like Full Metal Panic. Basically, both of these character tropes tend to fall into the trap of being godlike preachers, who frequently try to bring up others while at the same time completely falling flat due to the simple fact that, as protagonists, their positions are naturally privileged. This is why, say, Izuku during the BNHA ending falls flat. It is easy to tell people that, no matter what, they can follow up on their dreams. However, oftentimes protagonists in these series are given multiple legs up over others, which makes said preaching mute and uninteresting. Alice and Oland, in this respect, are about as far away from that complaint as possible. Like, I am shocked. The mad lads who made this actually did it. They made me like a holier-than-thou preacher character. If Alice and Oland have 1 million fans, then I'm one of them. If Alice and Oland have one fan, then I am that one. If Alice and Olin have no fans, then I am dead. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that the two leads of Pumpkin Scissors are a couple of inspiring motherfuckers that truly fit both the somber tone and theme of the World War I as setting. Olin charges forward with the kindness and regret of a saint, and yet is cursed with the body of a super soldier. Meanwhile, Alice truly exemplifies what a true leader and what a true noble, as strange as that is to say, should be. Effectively, both characters adequately carry their respective halves of the plot, with Olin carrying the weight of a soldier and the several hells that come with it, while Alice, on the other hand, focuses on the more crucial aspects of how people unused to war can learn and should cope with its horrors in a healthy, productive manner. In a way, Pumpkin Scissors is a series that one could describe as inspiring. I really enjoyed its nuanced take on how such bloody conflicts come to be beyond simple nationalism and traditional military tropes. It's really cool how, for example, the series takes great strides in showing not only the horrors that Alice and, in particular, Olin experiences, but also the horrors that they in turn inflict on others as they go throughout the plot. Obviously, I won't go too much into detail as that would be spoilers, but just know that this man can totally fuck up some motherfuckers. That's not to say, though, that these two alone are why you should read or watch Pumpkin Scissors. The rest of the platoon is incredible as well. Areldo and Martise's chemistry, for example, is very fun, if a bit cliched romp into brotherly soldiery and the pains that go to ensure one another's safety. Honestly, in this manner, Pumpkin Scissors yet again calls back to several great war epics of old, which is something that you usually don't see in anime or manga even today. Areldo is a free spirit from the slums of the capital, constantly trying to woo the next hot woman and fights like a street rat. It is so interesting seeing his perspective on things, especially when in contrast with the look of his character. He's a man who seems like a gentleman but fights like a thug from the slums. Considering that all this takes place in an empire, it is really cool seeing how he contrasts with your traditional noble value types, both in terms of combat and in terms of just raw philosophy. Martise is a bit more tropey, being your traditional kind and smart member of the crew, but man, while he may be a trope, Martise is such a sweetheart and just a nice person, which in a show that's a stone's throw away from Apocalypse Now is a very welcome addition. Again, I won't go too much into detail in how all these characters interact and what they do. Specifically, a show this good wouldn't be as awesome if I spoil all of it. However, the last thing I need to mention is the action. The action in the anime, and the manga particularly, is simply sublime. It's really cool seeing an anime take on World War I technology that has a more grounded, interesting take compared to your usual magic-covered one like Tanya the Evil. Pumpkin Scissors' main draw in this respect is its obsession with heavy weaponry like tanks, and specifically how the introduction of such technology and the several adjustments made to improve that heavy machinery were made and thus resulted in massive shifts in not only how war is fought, but how war is viewed by the common soldiery and generals. It is really interesting to watch this shift unfold over time as the Empire's leadership and nobles experience a change from common field-to-field combat to a more traditional, more modern form of warfare. If I were to name a series that gave off a similar vibe, I would say that it echoes several aspects of Legend of Galactic Heroes, which is a comparison that I believe needs no explanation considering how beloved the latter series is. Overall, Pumpkin Scissors is an underrated war anime that excels in several respects. It has an incredible main cast of lovable characters with badass politicians alongside several bursts of incredible action. It has the political chops of several great war anime of old, in addition to the character development required to make those series really shine. It is unafraid to cover hard topics such as PTSD, the philosophy of terrorism, and in particular what may drive individuals to join such movements, and the morality of more modern armies and militaries, and contains all of this within a detailed, breathing world that makes the plot that much more enjoyable with every passing chapter. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this: please watch and read this series, it is insanely good. If you like Full Metal Panic, Attack on Titan, Black Lagoon, or any of these movies, then I think you'd enjoy it as much as I did.